on Zingo TV channel 250. Please remember to download the Zingo TV app at the respective app stores for iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure you rate and leave a comment. Both apps are absolutely free. Zingo TV is available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and also on all smart TVs 2016 forward. That would be 2016 forward, not backward. Now on Candid Frank Live, joining me as usual is the one and only Aaron William Freeland. Hello, Aaron. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Frank. How are you today?
Fantastic. Did you like that? Aaron Our Views. See that little plug for Aaron William Freeland? The
You
off
got it.
man. The off man. Yes. If he doesn't like you, he'll off you. He'll
Oh, boo.
AWF you. Hello. First of all, I want to start by apologizing to you and to the listeners for my overly zealous rant on. I could have been less. Anyway, nobody's made me do it. Nobody's complained, but that's not the point. The point is I didn't feel comfortable as soon as I said it, and I didn't feel comfortable after the show, and I didn't feel comfortable since. So I apologize. Like I said, I had a cat, and it was a very gentle creature, but it used to beat the crap out of our dog. So, they're not necessarily. So I also want to apologize to all the cats out there that I seem to imply that they can't take care of themselves. We have one in the neighborhood here who takes care of a lot of things that my girlfriend doesn't want taken care of. So, don't fool with a cat. It could really do you. All right. So enough animal talk. Let's go to hockey. Real quick, Mitch Marner goes to watch a movie, takes we assume his fiance.
Yeah.
The police did not offer any personal information on two people that were in a vehicle, a Range Rover, that was removed forcibly by three people, two with guns, one with a knife. From what we understand, that was Marner, and there were reports about it immediately. And when I saw it, I just went, can this guy get a little bit of a time in between what happened, at work and personally? Everything's not working real well for him.
No, I can't win for losing sometimes, it seems, but
he's okay. I want to
he is
remind
fine.
you
His Range Rover will probably eventually be recovered. Nobody was hurt. This is a good thing. But police did say that both Marner and his fiance did the correct thing,
right?
Which is just let them take the vehicle. There's nothing in that vehicle that can't be replaced.
Yeah. The quote was that what he said was they asked for the vehicle. He said, "Go ahead, take it." It's the right. He can afford the deductible if it never comes back.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, no material possessions are worth your life.
Nope. And there's a time and a place for being a hero. That isn't one of them.
No.
Right. So
definitely not.
And that's advice to the rest of you. And there's some speculation, some conversations that I had doing a little bit of investigating. And it may be that he parked far away from the theater for whatever reason. Sometimes people with really nice cars don't like to park in the crowd. The one benefit of being in the crowd is that you can blend into the crowd a lot easier than going to the exterior of the parking lot and kind of put yourself in a position where, yes, there's no cars around you, but there's no cars around you. So, my advice to those of you that have a really nice car, don't worry about the dents, the scratches, and the harassing, way you have to get out of your car and stuff, because it's better to be in a crowd. Safety in numbers, folks. That's really important. Now, having said that, be aware of what's going on around you. And again, like Aaron said, nothing's more important than your health, safety. Stuff, for the most part, can be replaced. And even worse, some stuff you don't even miss after it's gone. So
this is very
right?
true.
Right? Because you can really, it's just not worth it. Anyway, let's talk about other things that are gone. That is the Leafs from the playoffs. Well, because the Leafs are out of the playoffs, we have a Battle of Florida, which goes well with the Battle of Alberta, But let's stick to the Battle of Florida. Immediately, the Lightning win 4-1.
Now, this was actually for the first little while a decent game. The gap wasn't that big, and all of a sudden the doors just fell off. And I tuned back into the game after a commercial break to find it was 4-1, 3 or 4 minutes left in the game, and most of the lower bowl was already empty. Now,
Yeah, real
the
good
pro-
hockey fans.
well, I mean, I think they understand when it's not possible for them to come back.
Yeah, but
And
they're the team that they've solved Rubik's Cube of comebacks in 2022. They are the comeback team.
the issue that we have here is we have two radically conflicting styles. Florida plays
Yeah.
a very loosey-goosey run and gun, shoot the lights out, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead kind of hockey. But Tampa Bay's is more structured. So as soon as Tampa Bay sees a little chink in your armor, they're going to wedge that tool in there and pop you open like a can opener, which is essentially what they did to the Florida Panthers.
They also don't have a more as far as goaltending is concerned, they don't have consistent goaltending either, unless they put the kid in. The kid's a better goaltender.
Now,
Sorry.
Bobrovsky is temperamental, to say the least.
His
So
game is, at least, anyway.
yeah, it just seems to be all over the place. But and when you look at the three goals that they scored in the third period, one at 3:35, and then a quick two, bang bang, Kucherov and Colton about a minute and a half to 2 minutes apart. That pretty much seals the game right there. And it was two power play opportunities that they put it away on. So special teams is key here. And again, the issue is that you give up and you take 14 minutes worth of penalties, right? You get 7 penalties to Tampa Bay's 4. They're going to kill you, and that's 3 of their goals came on the power play.
Yeah, Colorado and Minnesota. Fleury's talking about signing with Minnesota over the offseason. It's a pretty good team, but up against a really good team.
Now, this was a dynamite game, very, very close. And I'm sorry, I did actually put that down. It was Colorado versus St. Louis, not Colorado versus Minnesota. So that's
I just saw that too. Just yeah, but you corrected it later.
Yeah, but I am glad to see that Josh Manson is finally coming a bit into his own, scoring his first career playoff goal. Darcy Kemper made 23 saves after returning to net from an eye injury, which is something in and of itself that's hard to come back from. As a goalie with pucks whizzing at your head, the desire is to flinch on occasion. So I'm glad that Kemper was able to stand his ground. But great game. Glad to see it go to overtime. You're looking at a team that's had championship aspirations against a team that most recently has won the cup outside of Tampa Bay. So it's a good matchup. It's a good challenge for Colorado.
And the game we should be watching, of course, means the Battle of Alberta means there will be a Canadian team in the conference final. And there won't be 2 teams in the conference final. There will be one. This is it. The end of the road. One of the Alberta teams. It is the favorite over the what word can we use for Calgary? For the we're not going to lose group. There's the group that shouldn't lose, and then there's the group that they just don't like to lose. It's going to be an interesting battle. This is another, and this fits the definition you gave earlier. I think even more so. This is like the Tampa Bay Florida game or series. Very offensive team and a team that knows how to play defense. Now, I would say that Edmonton has as much offenses, but I think Calgary has more defense than Tampa.
Now that is going to be an interesting matchup. It doesn't matter really who comes out of this series. Whoever comes out of this series is going to be in tough to play either St. Louis or Colorado. My money's on Colorado, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I mean you have a team that's all fire like the Edmonton Oilers because they're rocking McDavid and Draisaitl up front, and then you have not necessarily the ice, but you have the more conservative, at least Calgary Flames, who are going to be bringing Johnny Gaudreau and Tkachuk to the fight, but at the same time a defense first approach, which is the hallmark of most Sutter teams.
Kane Lucic.
Oh,
Kane has a
see,
history with Calgary.
yeah, and I'm not so sure that he'll want to actually fight Lucic, even if his father was an amateur boxer and trained him. I don't think Evander's going to risk dropping the gloves against Luch.
But there could be a little bit between him and but then Lucic will do what he always does. Nope, don't touch, don't touch, don't touch my captain.
Well, if something does happen, there's also a Kachuk boy in there, and I find it amusing that the Kachuk boys have really been supporting each other. I mean, granted, the Ottawa Kachuk has been wearing hilarious jerseys that slam his brother, but at least he's been showing up to all of the Calgary games. There's a great sense of sibling rivalry there. I absolutely love to see it.
Well, it's near home, so
Yeah,
it's not like he's hitting the road. That's where they're from, Western Canada.
yeah,
Good for them. I'm looking forward to this series. It's great to see that both these teams made it through after the loss of the Leafs. It's really important that that Calgary makes sure that Edmonton doesn't get rolling, because if Edmonton gets rolling, they can roll really well. But I think the real definition of this series is going to be between the pipes.
yeah. No, you're looking at the aging wonderkind uh, Mike Smith versus the goaltender on the other side of the coin there, that young firebrand Markstrom. So I'll have to see how that goes as well. That is going to be something fun to watch. I'll be tuning in tonight at 9:30. I don't know if you'll be doing that as well, Frank, but
Yep.
it'll be something to see.
So apparently, the Jets had something silly to eat. Now they got the Trots.
Yeah, after pitching Paul Maurice and going with one of their teammates' dads, uh, they were actually interviewing Barry Trotz this morning, as reported by Elliot Friedman. So it's possible that Trotz won't be without a home for very long when it comes to coaching. Um, it seemed like the Islanders already had something in the hopper by the time they had actually let him go, because they announced a replacement relatively quickly. But it'll be interesting to see where he ends up.
Yes, yes. It probably won't be Toronto.
No, unlikely.
Let's go to the CFL. The Stamp signed defensive lineman Tyler Johnson.
So this is a good signing for them. He was recently with the Baltimore Ravens after completing his collegiate career at Arizona State. He played 39 games over 4 seasons with the Sun Devils, earning first team all Pac-12 honors. 112 tackles, 29 and a half tackles for a loss, and 15 and a half sacks. So as a defensive lineman goes, that's something that they could definitely use.
Yeah, absolutely. The Riders signed Samuel Emilius. They also inked their entire 22 draft class.
Yet, so the Riders appear to be willing to take their shot after signing MLS. He's 6'1", 200. He was attending rookie camp with the Arizona Cardinals. He went in the first round, 7th overall. They also signed Zach Fry, Diego Alatorre Montoya, Tommy Bringy, Tristan Fleury, Jaden Dahlke, Zach Herzig, and Riley Beersma. So that's their entire draft pick signed right there.
Signed it all. Good for
Yeah.
them. They know Canadians matter. I think we all know that too. The Elks released national wide receiver Trayvon Smith.
Now, Trayvon Smith, who originally from Toronto,
Yep.
interestingly enough, spent time with Indianapolis, Oakland, and Jacksonville between 2016 and 18, and had actually spent 2 of his last 3 years in the CFL with the Elks. So, I mean, he had a fantastic rookie campaign in 2019 with 632 yards and 6 touchdowns. His pace seemed to have slacked off. He had signed a 1-year extension with the Elks back in January. I think we covered that on the show, or you covered it with Dave Morisuti on your CFL show, but doesn't look like it's going to pan out.
Well, Hamilton's Toronto Rock played their playoff game against Buffalo in Buffalo. What a game. 18-17 Buffalo.
That was a fire wagon of a game. The Rock were in tough right off the hop. Buffalo's had a fantastic home record all season. They stretched out a lead by the half. Toronto was trailing, but they managed to bring it back with a 4-goal run late in the third quarter to actually take a 2-goal lead. Unfortunately, it didn't last. They ended up with the last few minutes remaining. They actually found themselves down two. Scored a goal, had a beautiful opportunity to tie it in the dying seconds. And one of the Rock players just lost the handle when the ball came off the post there, right in the last seconds. Vince mostly missed it. It bounced off the post, came to the Rock player in front, went to cradle it, and popped it out the back as opposed to just trying to quick stick it in. So, I mean, a fantastic finish to the game. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely loved it. But we'll see the rubber match on Saturday at 7 p.m. at First Ontario Centre.
And then, and then the following Saturday, if a game 3 is necessary. The San Diego Seals and the Colorado Mammoth are playing on the other side of the time zone. The Mammoth lead the series. They won 14-12.
Yeah, that was a good game as well. So glad to see that the Seal had the season that they did. Unfortunately, things being the way they are, the Mammoth are the more established team. They knew what it takes. They know what it takes to win.
Soccer here in Canada. The Prime Minister interjected an opinion suggesting that Iran going to Vancouver to place a soccer friendly, maybe not a very good idea.
No, and this goes back to Ukraine International Airlines Flight 752 back in January 2020. Iran actually confessed to deliberately shooting the plane down with
a service air
missile. Yeah, it took a while for them to confess, but 55 Canadian citizens and 30 permanent residents were among the 176 people killed.
And there's also the question of basically honoring the people who were killed and respecting and helping out the families that lost loved ones in that tragedy.
Yeah. And I mean, they do often say that sports bridges the gap. I'm not sure if this is the start of a path to reconciliation for this sort of thing, or if Soccer Canada suffered an episode of cranial vapor lock. We'll keep an eye on this as it develops, but
there's I don't have an explanation either. All I will say is that sporting bodies, Aaron, I think try their best to pretend they don't know what's going on, because if they spend too much time thinking about, especially when it comes to friendlies, I'm sure there's a game I don't think there's a game they can play depending on who they play, because somebody's running afoul of somebody somewhere at some point, but the PM is making a point on behalf of Canada. He is, he's the Prime Minister, like him or not, and he's making a point on behalf of Iranian people here in Canada who suffered a terrible loss. And even if they do play, there is a bit of a warning there. If they do come to Canada, there'll be some petitioning, some placards seen, and it I don't think in this country it won't get ugly. Well, for our standards, it'll get ugly. There'll be apologies for not welcoming somebody.
Now, there have been two statements that have been released in light of Trudeau's comments. One of those was from Soccer Canada. They said, at Soccer Canada, we believe in the power of sport and its ability to bring people from different backgrounds and political beliefs together for a common purpose. Iran is one of 32 participating member associations at the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022, and Canada Soccer continues to follow all international protocols in staging this match. We are focused on preparations for our men's national team to compete on the world stage. In contrast to that, the Association of Families of Flight PS 752 said it recognizes the athletes' right to play diverse opponents and supports the sport and what the World Cup represents. However, it's offensive to the loved ones of Flight PS 752 victims, given the incredible loss they have endured at the hands of the IRGC and their ongoing efforts to seek justice for the victims.
Which isn't complete at this point.
No, and they're still working through all of that. Federal Sport Minister Pascal Saint-Onge also said that, I understand that this announcement causes pain for the families and loved ones of the victims. While Canada Soccer, an independent organization, is responsible for the team's preparation for the competition, they should have considered this before moving forward. Sport Canada was not actually part of Soccer Canada's decision.
Right. So there's different bodies, and there's different leaders of those bodies. And well, like I said, um, this is unfortunately a really like look what happened that day should never have happened. These are people who are just flying home, going back to school, coming back home after visiting family, and it's not a way to go. And the prime minister represents the heartache that is felt because of this situation. The heartache is still an open wound, and we have opportunities to share people's pain, respect people's pain, and sometimes bigger fish are fried. I'm not sure this is one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
No, but in the interim, uh, thoughts and prayers are with the families of Flight PS. Sorry, that downed airliner. That our
Yep.
thoughts are with the families there. But we also understand the need for the Team Canada to continue to prepare for the World Cup as well. And unfortunately, sometimes sporting concerns will overtake political concerns. So,
And sometimes we wish politics wouldn't enter into
yeah.
anything, and I'm
Oh
not
God,
saying in
yeah.
this case, you know what I mean. Anyway,
My
let's
life would be so much easier if that never happened.
exactly. So let's talk about MLS. The big story is Lionel Messi, one of the greatest soccer players of all time. There was some talk that he might turn up in an Inter Miami garb uniform.
Yeah, his contract with Paris Saint-Germain does expire at the end of this season. Um, his agent is saying that Leo has not yet decided, and if Leo Messi has crossed paths with David Beckham in the past few hours, it's only as part of a Paris Saint-Germain stay in Doha, where the former English midfielder plays a role as an ambassador for the next World Cup in Qatar. The deal did have Lionel Messi coming to Inter Miami and receiving a 35% stake in the team, which is worth approximately $200 million. And he would then be playing for David Beckham once his contract expires in 2023. As interesting and tantalizing as that would be, unfortunately, it does nothing to help MLS shed the stigma that it's a place where players go to retire. Because Messi is on the downside of his career now. And while it would be a fantastic boost for soccer in North America, at the same time, diminishing returns could possibly tarnish that.
Did you see the American Mars lander took a picture of some rocks and it looked like a doorway?
I had seen that. For those of you who play World of Warcraft out there, I know there's a couple of you amongst our viewers. It reminds me of the dark portal that leads to Outland. It was kind of freaky. Kind of neat,
Totally
though.
freaky. Totally freaky. Turn
Right?
it
Just
up,
this little,
look,
little.
and look at it upside down, and then you'll see there's a whole other view to it too. Anyway, the military takes UFOs seriously, I hear.
Yes. Now, and again, it's not all that aliens rah rah stuff. An unidentified flying object is exactly that, something that's flying that we don't know what it is. And as a member of the military, I would definitely take unidentified flying objects seriously because it could be another country's technology. And as a military person, you'd want to keep on top of that.
Eric Clapton doesn't believe in COVID. Oh, but it believes in him.
Yes, this famous singer who famously declared that he would never perform in any venue that requires vaccine passports has come down with COVID after his second night in Albert Hall. So he's canceled concerts for the foreseeable future. They do hope he will be ready to go and again in a week. My response to that is, oh no. Anyways,
Chinese plane crashes that kills 132 caused by intentional acts, say U.S. officials.
yeah, so they did actually find the black box for this flight that actually plummeted out of the sky. The plane initially dropped from 29,000 to 8,000 feet, leveled off, and then nosed in. The China Eastern 737 apparently hit the ground so hard that it caused a crater 66 feet deep.
Imagine being so crazy that you drive 200 miles to go to Buffalo to kill innocent people in a grocery store. Just imagine that, Aaron. Wrap your head around that.
Now, here's the thing: he wasn't the only one. The day after this shooting, there were additional posts on social media indicating which stores they were actually going to target.
Wow.
So, for my friends in Buffalo, I'm glad that you're safe. Thoughts and
Yeah,
prayers
no
are with
kidding.
those families that lost loved ones, but it's not It's not anything that anybody should aspire to. One of the shooters actually streamed it on Twitch before Twitch found the live feed and shut it down.
Wow.
Now, the live feed itself did go for approximately 2 minutes, but I think that's a reasonable response time for a company as big as Twitch having to monitor live feeds.
Well, people are. I'm gonna say this and try to say it in a way that I hope helps, not hinders. The issue is being replaced. Some white people feel they're being replaced. In a way, they are. We're at the end of the show. In a way, they are being replaced, but not replaced. Opportunities are being given to people who didn't have opportunities. So now what's happening is those people are getting an opportunity. The concern that I have is the perception that the pendulum swinging too far the other way and is interpreted by people like this young man who are acting on what they think is real evidence of intent. But this isn't intent. I hope I'm making my point as carefully as I can by saying we need to understand that with undoing the mistakes we did before, and by we, I mean the royal we, right? I don't mean me or you. We have to be careful that we don't make people who didn't do anything wrong feel guilty for not doing something and then maybe made to feel as though they're paying for what happened. And that's the terrible thing here that we're dealing with. Again, I'm not saying they're justified to do this. I'm just saying there are some facts that can be bent and twisted into looking like intent, maliciousness, and marginalizing people who already feel marginalized. You don't have to be black to feel marginalized. You don't have to be of color. You don't have to speak French to feel marginalized in a place where they don't, or English where they don't speak English. So so this is terrible, and I wish we'd figure out a way to let these people hear their complaints and be able to have a chance to talk to them before they do something like this. That's the part that really bothers me, is that I wish we could do something to get these young men who have these issues a chance to vent in a different way and feel like they're being heard, because I think that's important too, Aaron. Bottom line, that's what I'm trying to say.
I appreciate that, Frank. Thank you.
All right, buddy. That was fun.
As always.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. And
Thank
we
you,
hope
Frank.
you didn't mind us airing our views here on Candid Frank Live. I'm Frank Stanisci. We air here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 p.m. This show can also be heard on the Spanglish World Radio Network. For Candid Frank Live, other news, entertainment, and sports programming we offer, please check out spanglishworld.ca. Spanglish World. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thank you for watching, everybody. Ciao for now.